Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing great. Today, I wanted to first, two things. First, I want to talk about the reaction videos that I started doing. And actually, there's a number of them from days gone by, but it's just something I wanted to revisit. So, I have been asking you about who you follow as far as other YouTube creators that have cancer. And what I don't always know is the tea that could be spilled. In the previous case, I did not know that a lot of people were so skeptical. And there are a couple of others, but there's also a couple that have been outed completely that they didn't have cancer. The one thing, though, I feel like might be misconstrued is that people with cancer should look terrible. A lot of people say I'm too healthy looking. I mean, they're not accusing me of anything, but I look awfully good for someone with cancer that I've had for a couple of years. At least I was diagnosed a couple of years ago. Well, first of all, I'm not on any chemotherapy. I'm not on any traditional treatments, and neither is Noah. But people have cancer that it doesn't really attack their metabolic system. Maybe they don't lose a lot of weight. Maybe that's just toward the end. So it does mean that Noah and I, neither of us are actively dying. He just got some test results that I also got that I was not happy with. It was the Signatera blood test for circulating tumor marker. That doesn't mean that he's going to just start deteriorating, but I just don't want you to prejudge how someone looks, because there are a lot of people you see every day that have cancer and you don't know. I don't tell everybody, but I think a lot of people that I see on a regular basis would be shocked. So I did want to say that. And I can't know everything about everyone. So there will be others. And there's been a couple that I've heard buzzwords about of being controversial. I may or may not share that. And it's not that, hey, I'm drama free here. It's not that. It's just that if I have not participated in those conversations, then I don't really see it. I don't, you guys speculate in everybody's chat. And I'm not reading all those comments. I'm only reading the ones on my channel. So I'm presenting things at face value. And yeah, I'm a lot less drama maybe than I was years ago. Things are less important to me since my diagnosis. And it's not that now I live this totally different lifestyle, but things have changed. I think that there are people who might take advantage of their diagnosis, but it's not mine to say whether he has or not. I also know that in my own experience, asking for money when you really need it is okay. It was hard for me at first, and you guys really came through when I was going through treatments and I couldn't work. Now I can work a little bit, so I don't need those funds. I make a pittance compared to what I used to make, so I do have to watch my pennies and everything, but I'm not floating in so much debt as far as medical bills anymore. And if you want to support my journey, I appreciate it. You want to buy me a cup of coffee or whatever, I really do appreciate that. But it's certainly not something I push or feel is required. It's just very, very appreciated. So enough appreciation. No, there's never enough appreciation there, but my heart is full and always grateful. But if someone doesn't need it and it's obvious, then yeah, I question that. But again, I don't know where any of these YouTubers really stand as far as their finances and how much their insurance covers, and you know what I'm saying. So I don't like to be quick to judge that. Some people are. Some people have judged me, even when I needed it most, when I was bald, and opening a GoFundMe account and letting you know this is, where I'm at. If you can help, great. I got criticized. Oh, I'm so sick of GoFundMe accounts. Well, guess what? That's why they're there. So you don't have to give, of course, but that's why they exist. All right, enough of that soapbox. So I wanted to start a little bit of a question and answer segment. And I didn't have a lot of questions ahead of time. A lot of them I have answered. And then there's a list somewhere that, I couldn't find. So you know what I did? I did Chat GPT again, where I asked them to get me started, and I got a whole long list. I haven't read them yet. They're categorized by general cancer topics, personal life questions, and channel related and fun questions. So I will just randomly go through the list without reading it first, because I think that I like to go into things cold. If there's something offensive, I will just edit it out. So this, I hope, gets us started, and I'd like to do a little segment on a regular basis. So if you do have some questions, just put them in the comments for me. At this point, I'm still able to read all the comments. I'm not really that popular yet, but you could make that so, and I'll have to hire mods or something, but I'm really not expecting to have to do that. So let's start with the general cancer topics. Number 1, what advice do you have for someone newly diagnosed? Get a second opinion, for sure. And don't panic. You don't always have all the facts. And I'm not going to be able to stop you from going on WebMD. Do your research, but understand that everybody's cancer is a little different. If you did, especially if you don't have it staged, or don't have all those need to know things, because when you're diagnosed, the doctors sometimes just want to do more testing before they tell you a lot, because your cancer is going to be unique. Okay? And then also be prepared, let it sink in, but then be prepared for different reactions for different people. And not everybody is going to be there for you that you think. And then some people will jump out of the woodwork that you didn't expect to step up. Mark my words, I promise you, you will get cancer ghosted. But just focus on you. Just focus on you. Okay. Number 2, how can friends and family support someone with cancer? I would say you can get some support online. There's a lot of articles about that. I think especially if you know that they're going to go through chemo, and I have a video actually from way back as far as cancer gifts, the things that they're going to need, warm blankets and socks, nice warm fuzzy socks. And I think just flowers on chemo day, or, just letting them know you're here and that you want to do something, like you want to cook for them, or, just make sure that they don't have dietary restrictions. Spend time with them. And don't be afraid to ask questions about their cancer. That's actually very supportive, because some people are not comfortable talking about it, and you need to allow that to go to the wayside when someone needs you. They might want to talk about their journey, and don't be uncomfortable about that, and just ask what you can do. and follow through with it, or give them a multiple choice. A lot of times, like, oh, I'm fine. No, just say, I would like to cook for you, or I would like to, um, clean for you, or whatever it is. Which one would you like me to do? Okay, simple as that. There's not a whole lot you can do, but do what you can. Okay. I realized there was a glare with my glasses, so I'm probably just going to take them off again. Number 3, do you believe in alternative or integrated therapies? Chat GPT knows me. Absolutely. And I may not be into the ivermectin kind of scene, which is alternative, but these are choices. For me, alternative means holistic, and it means maybe meditation. It could involve supplements, eating cleaner. I feel like the whole thing is just like integrated all together, and you're doing an alternative therapy. There are other ones I would consider, but energy work is probably the most alternative therapy that I've had, but it was still alongside of chemotherapy. I had qigong, for instance, which is an energy movement, healing that anybody can get. You could get Reiki or whatever, but I found it eased my pain. It was more palliative for me, but I don't know that it didn't also buy me 20 years. I don't know what bought me 20 years, but here I am again. And I have had some more work, not qigong, but yeah, supplements and whatever you feel just that you gravitate toward. Could be herbal teas. I don't know if holistic alternative therapies are the answer, like on their own, but that's just how I feel. Number 4, how has cancer affected your perspective on life and death? Well, as a medium, I already have a perspective that is rooted in spiritualism and Buddhism. And I don't want to look at it as a religion. I just want to look at it as your outlook, whether you're positive. Being positive is very important. Staying positive. Sometimes you'll be strong, and sometimes you won't. So there's a lot of up and down feelings. And for me, you make personal choices in this. And for me, it is more of adopting an attitude. How do you want to go about this? Pet business. How do you want to go about this? You want to stay down and feed the cancer and, just bury your head in the sand, be in denial maybe? Or do you want to do what I'm doing as far as trying to make every day count? I mean, I know I wake up like feeling awful some days, and I'll put on my makeup, I'll do my hair, do my whole morning routine and push myself. I feel a lot better even just getting out of the shower sometimes. I just need to wash it away, so to speak. So I think that my outlook has changed a lot, but I've always felt about life and death just being a transformation. I've had the same view of death as just being, a door that opens, and the afterlife is right there. We go on. Whether you want to call it heaven, whether you want to call it just the afterlife, we go on. And I'm not afraid. I was never afraid. I don't like the idea of dying, though. That scares me. And that's common, obviously. Okay. So, next question. And obviously, I will have to do the personal life questions and the channel related fun stuff, or maybe I'll just skip over. Yeah, let me skip over. Okay, I'll make a note of what I answered. Okay, personal life questions. What did your life look like before your diagnosis? Before the symptoms, you mean, because the symptoms alone started to suffocate my daily routine. Very busy. I would not have had time to do a YouTube channel, let alone two. I am so grateful for this channel because it has been a wonderful healing filler for me. It is absolutely healing. But at the same time, I miss being busy. There was a time I ran my own church. I had a thriving business for many, many years. I made decent money. And all of it, really. I had friends that ghosted me after my diagnosis. That just happens. Like I said, I was awake more. So much has changed. That would probably be an entire video on its own, which, I could do at another time. Watching the cats kind of fight for this one little table we have. I don't know who's going to win, but I'm just going to go on. Okay, King of the Mountains. What's something that still brings you joy every day? You mean besides Wawa coffee? Yeah, I don't have that every day unless I'm going somewhere, then I'll stop on the way. But I think that's part of making every day count for me. The little joys. Watching the cats wrestle. That brings me joy. Bringing my dog Iggy back for a visit. I wish I could do that every day, but I just don't have the ability to take care of him the way he deserves. And I understand that. But I definitely make those days count, because I have such precious little time with this dog. And I think spending time with Chris and Neon. We went to see Superman yesterday. It was really good. And Neon wasn't really interested, which I guess that's just the new generation. I'm not sure, but it was really probably the best Superman movie. The last one I really enjoyed was Christopher Reeve's back in the day. I'm dating myself, but so that was really good. Highly recommended. But just those little things, I do remember them. And playing games is fun. And actually being able to go to the office and see a client here and there, it makes me feel like I didn't have to give it up completely. So, there are clients that have been loyal to me for many, many years, some decades. And, I just feel blessed for any little joy. And then when there's something negative happens, we have personalities. We just don't change those. I get pissed off like everybody else when things get clustered. But then I try to pull myself back in to the reality that some things we just can't change. So little joys, coffee and cats. Okay, so let's do one more. All right. What do you want your legacy to be? I think this channel is one of those. I've always been kind of on a platform of helping others. I've done grief counseling for many years. I've done mediumship sessions for people who've needed it, and intuitive sessions as well, life coaching. I mean, almost everything I have done in life has been about helping others. And if I were just to leave some kind of mark where it inspires other people to help other people, do volunteer work, whatever, I think that is a legacy enough. Otherwise, perhaps the letters that I have ongoing, I mean, I've finished them, but I'd like to add to them. And I think leaving your legacy is the most personal thing that you can do, even if it's for the world at large. So I just really want my legacy to be the inspiration to go on, the inspiration to help other people, as well as yourself, because, you really should love yourself first, right? Okay, wow, those were some questions. So there's more, but I'll just save the list and I'll just tick off the ones that I actually asked. And then I won't read the other ones because we can do it cold again. But I'd love to add your questions to the mix. So if you have anything cancer related in general, my personal cancer journey, about supporting other people, you could be a caregiver maybe that has questions, or someone that you've lost. It could also be about the spiritual aspect to it. Or it could just be fun or unrelated, something just about my life in general. And if you have a question for Chris, I'm sure that I could ask. Okay, I'm going to close. Love you all. Thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you very soon. Be blessed. Bye.